Financially, we'll be stronger than ever before. I think the markets are going to soar.
Can you rescue the astronauts?
Yes, we're bringing them back in a few weeks.
There's not near enough attention being paid to this. You're going to get them back?
We're going to get them back.
One of the best opportunities now is cryptocurrencies, though crypto has had some problems. What do you tell people that say they want to be in cryptocurrencies? Do you offer the opportunity for people to invest in crypto through Franklin Templeton?
Yes, actually we do. So, first of all, I always say that that Bitcoin is the greatest distraction from the greatest disruption that is happening in financial services today. So I wish, because every time everybody gets in a conversation about crypto, it leads into a conversation about whether this currency, whether it's Dogecoin or Bitcoin, is of value. Forget that. That's like a religion. You either get a believer or a non-believer, and they're never going to agree. But blockchain as a technology and what it can do is going to be hugely disruptive. So not only is it going to be disruptive on traditional back offices and just create much greater efficiency, but disruption on business models.
Reports show that a far larger number of investors lost more than $2 billion after the meme coin crash. Meanwhile, a Republican-led SEC has conveniently stated that meme coins are not subject to their regulatory oversight. And so, with that, I just want to say to this committee and to everybody else, whenever you see this side and that side get together to work on something, that's significant and that's important. And you cannot just erase the fact that Mr. McHenry and I put together stablecoins with the kind of guardrails that would avoid consumers from being ripped off. Now, I can't understand why anybody on either side of the aisle would ignore all of this and a new SEC head by someone who does not believe in guardrails.
First of all, we have $9.3 trillion of federal debt that's coming due within the next 12 months. The interest rates on that debt have dramatically increased over the last 3 years, and refinancing it at today's interest rates will create an extremely profound burden on taxpayers. Secretary Bessent has indicated his strong desire to spread future Treasury issuances across the duration curve, avoiding the risk of putting everything in the short end of the curve, as Secretary Yellen did. President Trump and Secretary Bessent have also indicated their strong interest in lowering 10-year interest rates, which have an important effect on consumer finance, mortgage finance, auto loans, as well as the federal interest expense. President Trump created the Strategic Bitcoin Reserve, and in particular directed the United States government to identify revenue-neutral ways to acquire Bitcoin. By creatively integrating Bitcoin into Treasury bonds, I would like to suggest that we can significantly reduce the borrowing costs of the federal government and defease the debt. And in particular, I would like to propose that for Americans that purchase these bonds, that they be tax-free from both interest as well as capital gains and offer a very strong way for American families to rebuild wealth.
The nation continues to struggle with a shortage of affordable housing. The answer, like everything else, may lie in technology. We're talking about 3D printing on a high production scale. Diana Olick is just outside of Austin, Texas, Georgetown, Texas, with more on this. Hi, Diana.
Hi, Mike, and we are in the model home for what is now the world's largest 3D printed community. And yes, the walls do feel like wide well corduroy. Lennar, which is the nation's second largest home builder, partnered with Icon, a 3D printing company, to print 100 homes here, and they did it much faster than it would have taken conventionally.
We have a durable product here that if you look at its wind resistance for hurricanes, its fire resistance for fire-worn areas, the ability to adapt modern product to what we need for the future in housing, in building a healthier housing market, is amazing.
Icon started with 2 printers but grew to 11, and by the second year, they were squeezing out 2 homes per week, each printer doing the job of more than a dozen construction workers. The systems operated 24 hours a day. The only part not printed is the roof. Now, the homes have all the amenities you would see in a regular Lennar community, and each is solar powered. They come in 2- and 3-bedroom models starting at just under $400,000.
We wanted tall doors, taller ceilings, cement floors somehow, and this home just had everything. So really just a combination of the energy efficiency, the practicality, the price point, and then the aesthetics.
Now, this was an experiment for Lennar, so their costs were slightly higher as they worked out the kinks. But Miller told me, and this is a first on CNBC, that Lennar is already working on its second 3D printed community, which will be about 7 miles from here. It will have twice as many homes, and they'll be able to build them much cheaper than they did these homes. And just a note on tariffs, Icon's CEO told me that all the concrete used in this development was sourced domestically. So there is your housing tariff hedge. Back.
Welcome to the Crypto Teacher, and you know I come back with that video just to make you think.
Don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel.
And make sure you join the Patrons. If you're not a part of the Patrons, make sure you're hitting the Cash App. And also, guys, make sure you go like and follow the TikTok. More videos to come. And we have Trump saying the markets are going to soar. And he's right when it comes to the fourth industrial revolution, stocks and cryptos. Once they get the stablecoin bill approved, they can hit the $1 trillion mint button. And remember, the Crypto Teacher tells you. And we have Elon says he's going to get the stuck astronauts out of space. And that space is at Disney World. And remember, the Crypto Teacher tells you. Now we have Franklin Templeton's Jenny Johnson telling the truth about Bitcoin. Bitcoin is just a big distraction. Blockchain is going to change everything that we do, and we know it's nothing but a recorded ledger. But this thing about all the repetitive jobs, all the repetitive things that we do, now will be on blockchain, tokenized, and ran by an algorithm. And remember, the Crypto Teacher told you. Not a human involved. And we have Maxine Waters on meme coins, calling them meme coins, and we know she's doing that on purpose. But these meme coins are being used to push adoption, and we know for a fact it's working. And we have the CEO of New Market Capital introduces a way for the government to refinance all this debt. And remember, we had Steve Mnuchin, Janet Yellen, that could have pushed it out for 50 years. Now we have over $9 trillion that's due. We saw over $4 trillion wiped off the stock market. So it only got $5 more trillion to go. And remember, the Crypto Teacher told you. And I talk about this all the time when it comes to affordable homes. This is just a narrative. And like I told you, all these expensive homes are going to be upside down. Because now you're going to have 3D printed homes. And we know that means less jobs. And that's the reason why they can allow the immigrants to leave. Because automation takes care of that. And when it comes to roofing, they already have the technology that the machines can do the roofing also. I know it sounds like a movie, but remember, guys, your life is an illusion and TV is your reality. And I've constantly done video after video letting you know in the Patrons, on TikTok, this technology is moving fast forward. It's just whether you want to get in front of it. And remember, the Crypto Teacher told you. And we have Elon and Trump want to privatize Social Security. And don't forget, Bush Jr. tried to pull it off, and he almost did. And don't forget, the stock market crashed right after that. And that means that the seniors would have been homeless and bankrupt. We know they don't teach finances in school for a reason. You know, you just can't hand over money to people who have no clue on how to invest it. That makes no sense whatsoever. And then we have the debt keeps growing, over $1 trillion in interest. But don't forget, guys, no such thing as debt, especially when you're printing it off. And then, of course, we have these tariffs, Trump putting them on, Trump taking them off. But like I told you, these tariffs are definitely coming on, but they're going to be timed with the Fed. These tariffs are going to cause prices to go up and then also job loss. And that's the reason why universal basic income is going to be so important when it comes to this machine takeover. And remember, the Crypto Teacher told you. And we have Trump joking about the no steering wheel, no pedal with Elon Musk. But never forget, remember when he was in office the first time, I'm putting out video after video after video when it comes to this technology because Trump signed the executive order the first time he was in office back in 2019 about AI. Guys, nobody was talking about this AI takeover and how it was going to go down step by step except for this channel, the Cryptoteacher. But we're clearly seeing the plan come together. And that's the reason why it's so important to spread this channel and then also for you to get in the lab. It's about to get hot. And remember last year I told you to enjoy your summer because they were going to start to turn it up. Now, guys, this time, the spring and the summer, you got to stay in the lab so therefore you can benefit like we did last time. And remember, the Cryptoteacher told you because he knows when it comes to the NWO, it's all planned out. You have a wonderful day.
We're an equal branch of government. And you start off with a blather, and yet we look at the empty seats here. Where's Elon Musk? I'm sure he's a genius and is a very credible person because of the wealth he's accumulated. But that does not put him above the law or the responsibility to come before this committee in this Congress. If he's so great, if these plans and all the fraud and abuse that he's found are so eminent, why isn't he here explaining it? You know why. Because he's out to privatize Social Security. He's been on television the last couple of days talking exactly about Social Security, Medicare, and Medicaid, and what he intends to do. Privatize it. The American people, some of them may have been born at night, but not last night.
All the talk in Washington recently of cutting federal spending, we have yet to see any of that show up in the official data. Treasury's latest statement shows that overall spending hit a record high for the month of February, and spending and the overall deficit are both now at all-time highs for the first 5 months of the fiscal year. So the deficit today is about 17% bigger than it was this time last year, and that's due to spending up at nearly every agency. One of the biggest drivers is the growing cost of interest on the debt. We've spent almost $500 million on interest so far this fiscal year. Social Security, Medicare, Medicaid, they are all spending more, both because they have more beneficiaries than ever and because of the higher cost of living. Defense spending, that one was also up across the board. And guys, a Treasury official was asked specifically whether they were seeing any impact yet of the DOGE effort to cut spending. They told reporters that one of the only areas seeing spending decline as of February was the Department of Education, which had spent $6 billion less than the same month a year ago because of lower spending on elementary and secondary education. We might see more impact in future months, but for now, one of the only areas so far of really
key question we're all wrestling with, because obviously the market does not like uncertainty. In fact, the default, as we've seen, is just to sell, quickly and a lot until we know what the drill is. But I think it's getting clear that he is serious about tariffs, but it is a negotiating tactic, and he just wants a quid pro quo. But I think this uncertainty, it will last. We don't know how long it will last, but it will for a while. But I think the market is already adjusting to that. And I think you saw a little bit today. We had good inflation report, even though people know that we could have more inflation that kicks in a month or two, given the tariffs, given DOGE, and higher layoffs there. But I think that you can start to nibble here. I think, I don't know if the downside's been put in, but I suspect it has been. But we're not going to know for a while. And particularly when the layoffs start coming in. But I think the Fed is saying, we'll probably have to focus more on growth and jobs more than inflation going forward.
And by the way, he makes one car. This one I don't understand. This one I don't want, but that's okay. Without a steering wheel. It comes out next year, right?
Yes.
Explain that, please.
Yes. Well, the Cybercab starts production in Texas next year, and it's self-driving. We have so much confidence in the self-driving nature of it that it'll actually not have a steering wheel. It will not have pedals. It'll either self-drive or not drive at all, but it'll self-drive.
President Trump, and I'm going to pass on that particular.
Going to a different economy, and we're going to be learning more about that as we go. But clearly, we're learning that things can be done from remote locations. We're learning that technology can replace people even more than we thought.
We're not going back to the same economy. We're recovering, but to a different economy. And it'll be one that is more leveraged to technology. And I worry that that is going to make it even more difficult than it was for many workers.
In Silicon Valley, and my friends who work in technology know that what we did to the manufacturing workers, we are now going to do to the retail workers, the call center workers, the fast food workers, the truck drivers, and then even bookkeepers, accountants, insurance agents, lawyers, and on through the economy. So what happened to the manufacturing workers is a very clear sign.
And so we'll import Chinese-based CBDC technology. So it's going to be CBDC in a box provided to you by the People's Bank of China.
But every stock, every bond, every currency, every commodity, every piece of art, every private business, every piece of real estate will eventually be a token on a blockchain, an entry on a ledger, permanent and immutable. We will have truth instead of trust, and we will save over $7 trillion a year. 6 to 8% of global GDP is wasted by the friction of the trust industry that's necessary when you have dual entry accounting. With triple entry accounting, which is what a blockchain is, we get rid of all of that friction. It's a beautiful future.
Like what you see in China and their social credit scoring systems, right? If we get identity wrong, it could be a tool to enslave humanity. And if we get it right, it could be a tool to liberate humanity. And as an American, I'm obviously rooting for the one that's on the side of freedom.
Bitcoin is an international asset. And also, I do believe the role of crypto is it's digitizing gold.
I actually believe this technology is going to be very important. Look at it. We have been part of the huge revolution in investing through ETFs. We believe that ETFs will be changing the whole way we invest. Many people still use it as a means, people are investing it for indexing. No, the majority of people who are putting money in in ETFs are active investors that are buying exposure. The entire bond market is being transformed as we talk right now. I believe the next generation for markets, the next generation for securities will be tokenization of securities. And if we could have that distributed ledger that we know every beneficial owner, every beneficial seller, we all have our code of who's buying, who's selling, instantaneous settlement. And think about it, it changes the whole ecosystem.
Chinese bank ICBC has been hit by a ransomware attack, and the U.S. Treasury market, as a result of that, has been disrupted. This, according to the Financial Times. We're getting at more right now with Bloomberg's Shonali Bassick. Shonali, what do we know?
Listen, we have the Financial Times now reporting that ICBC, one of China's largest banks here, was hit with a ransomware attack. And remember, they're a very significant intermediary in the Treasury market. The SIFMA has told its members that this has been part of the reason here that the system is kind of clogged up, if you will, during that auction that we saw a little bit before. The attack had prevented ICBC, according to the Financial Times, from settling Treasury trades on behalf of other market participants. A large executive at a major bank also telling the paper that such a large party on the fixed income clearing corp creates major concerns, potentially impacting the liquidity of Treasury markets.
Now, it was not just a poor auction. It was absolutely lousy, and when the dealers have to step in to save a treasury auction, that's a rare occurrence. And
Cryptoteacher and the New World Order book, plus the 3 Kids books. It's time to re-educate. Also, new to cryptos, Coinbase, Bitrue, Binance. Do not forget book links and crypto links are in the description. The stock channel, guys. Don't forget to go like, subscribe, spread everywhere. You have your Kobo, your chip stocks, your banking, your gaming. While everybody's sitting at home, get on stocks, the Seaver, the biotech stocks. And while everybody's at home wishing, they were still getting that free money. What are they doing? Drinking and smoking weed. Don't forget about those stocks, and you have a wonderful day. The most powerful person in the world is the storyteller. The storyteller sets the vision, values, and agenda of an entire generation to come. Steve Jobs. And guys, I truly believe in this. When you look at the New World Order, they're the storytellers. And that's the reason why I wrote my New World Order book. But guys, now it's time to change the current generation. And I wrote 3 kids books. You know, I love the Trinity because I understand the power that's in it. So I have 3 books. We have an opportunity to change the generation, to educate, not just me, but I want to show you that I take action on a daily basis. And I want you to take action on a daily basis. Whether it's your job, whether it's in your community, we have an opportunity right now to educate the masses. I posted this on my Twitter account. Please share, but this is a short clip of the 3 books. There's going to be a clothing line and action figures. Please get these books for your kids, nephews, cousins, friends, so therefore we can start the re-education now. Because as we see, the 4th Industrial Revolution foundation is definitely here. Robots, algorithms, drones, taking humanity out the picture. We have to re-educate. But let's get into the video.
Part 1. King Joshua and Grandma Tam save the village. Part 2. King Joshua and Grandma Tam save New York from COVID-33. Part 3. King Joshua and Grandma Tam goes to China.
It's mandatory to get part 1, part 2, and part 3 of this series. It's time to re-educate Generation Z.